Hello Gemini and welcome to my channel GreenLion Goddess Tarot. This is your fortnightly reading for December the 1st through to the 15th. So we are now moved into fiery Sagittarius season. So let's see how this is going to affect you. And this is a general reading, Gemini. So just take what feels right and leave the rest, because it's not all going to resonate with you. And if it does really resonate and you would like to hear more and delve into it more deeply and take a sneak peek into the future beyond, there is an extended reading and we'll look at all those things. The link is in the description box below. I'd love it if you come over to that. So also, Gemini, if you enjoy this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment or share. There's a bit of noise in the background. That's actually the kids in the pool. So if you hear any screaming or yelling, that's just the sound of them. So please don't worry about anything like that. It's really just them having fun. So we'll get stuck into this for you, Gemini. And what have we got coming through for you? We've got the 8 of Wands. Wow. Okay. Crossed by the 4 of Wands. Crowned by the Ace of Cups. Whoa. 10 of Cups at the base, recent past the Fool, and the near future the 6 of Cups. Wow. You are presenting as the Moon. In environment around you, you've got the 3 of Swords. Wow. Okay, that's strange. And the High Priestess. Okay. And because everything out there, where did that come? It's out of the blue. The King of Wands and the Devil as an outcome. Goodness gracious, gosh. Okay, and then we've got the 4 of Swords and the Knight of Swords. Okay. Goodness gracious here, Gemini. Let's have a look. I'm going to start off with a charm for you. Let's see what we've got. Oh, we have the electric guitar. I don't know if any of you play music or anything like that, but this is very much a creative, a musical energy coming through. It's very much saying what I'm getting here, Gemini, is there's a pulse of electricity coming through you. This is like energy pulsing through you. So this is kind of this sense that it is electrifying you. And it's going to amplify your expression and your voice into the world. So, yeah, it's quite intriguing. So let's pull an animal spirit energy as well for you. I should get this deck up the right way. Animal spirit energy for Gemini. We have the bat. Interesting. We have the bat, but it's upside down. So, yes, it's interesting. So when we turn it upside down, it becomes an earth energy, not the element of air if it was up this way. And actually, it's quite interesting upside down. Okay, but we'll have a look at that a bit later. There's some very polar opposite energies running through this one for you, Gemini. It's quite fascinating what's happening here. So I think this is a lot to do with dealing with Capricorn energy, dealing with moving from a very heavily focused Capricorn energy and still in a Capricorn energy, and just the last vestiges of that huge cycle, the influence of Capricorn astrologically, before we move into the age of Aquarius. So, interesting. Okay, what fairies do we need to speak to Gemini? We have undressing of a salad. I want to get to for you. And the topsy-turvy, upside down. Okay, so this is kind of, there's something confusing about this reading for me, Gemini, and that's why I feel like things are kind of upside down. I do feel like things are kind of they're in different places. I feel like something you once thought is no longer, and now you think something totally different. And maybe, you've got a lot of things happening here. There's a lot of balls in the air. It's busy. There's a balancing act of dealing with all these different energies that are coming through here for you. And it's challenging. It is challenging because on one hand, there's these beautiful energies of love and happiness, but there's also these other energies, some energy of fear that you're dealing with as well. So it's, I feel like you may have changed your mind. And it's actually interesting, the topsy-turvy, this reminds me so much of you, Gemini, because, we've got the two different aspects of the mind and this can be turned either way. But I feel like you've changed your mind about something. This card is, like, if you don't know this card, you can turn it upside down. It's actually upside down reversed as it is, and it still works. But it came in reversed. So I feel like you've already changed your perspective on something. And so this has kind of perhaps had an interesting and profound effect that's come through. But yeah, it's what it's done is suddenly tipped the balance. But it's meant that it's put a lot more balls in motion. A lot more things have suddenly gone into motion by changing your perspective or changing your mind. And suddenly it is a balancing act, but it feels better. It feels like you're able to do this. There's an ability here. So yeah, thank you. George is like, yep, you got it. Okay. So that was my rooster. If you're wondering, that was not one of the kids in the pool. So we have, yes, George, we heard you. He likes Gemini. So 8 of Wands crossed by the 4 of Wands. These are really good. You've got some really good placements here, Gemini, really good cards. There's some very clear and direct forward movement, direct communication, swift changes coming through around the home. Things happening quite fast, but good. So that actually feels, this could also be related to your sense of self. A change and shift of perspective that comes in quite fast and clearly and directly. This is where I think you've changed your mind related to that 4 of Wands. So that can relate to many things. This is what's coming in and has changed quite quickly, is the houses can represent sense of self. For me, that's how I read it, and that's my interpretation of it. And often when we have dreams, that represents you. You might have a dream where it's huge house and it's looking at a bigger part of you, or you have a dream where it's old and needs to be renovated. And so, or you might be renting. So it's a part of you that you're not even owning. So it's kind of interesting that this 4 of Wands is also to do with relationship, significant other. So it's the 1111. It's the master number. It can be to do with a twin flame relationship as well coming through here. I do feel mostly like I'm just giving some options, but the strongest feeling I'm getting is actually for sense of self. Something's shifted and changed. You're seeing yourself differently. This is the happy home. It's it can be around the home as well. Actually, literally the home, not sense of self. So this is the happy home. It's the card of marriage. Things like that coming through. And, in your conscious mind, you have the Ace of Cups, which is love. There's replenishment, there's healing coming through with this shift of perspective that's come in about yourself. So it's like you've had this realization that's come through. And it's love is on your mind, replenishment, being open. There's a rebirth, a sense of renewal here as well. So these are themes that might be coming up, or things that you're wanting to bring in or feeling the need for. But this is kind of what seems right in front of you. But at the base, even more, you've got the Ace of Cups and the 10 of Cups. There's just this deep happiness, deep contentedness. It's like you've really reached, I don't think you could be happier deep down with this energy that's coming through here, to do with this shift in mindset that's come through about you. So if this is something that you've been able to kind of connect with or step into, it brings with it a lot of happiness. And I feel like it's got a lot to do with self-acceptance and just kind of even forgiveness, but actually just seeing yourself from a different light, and that just shifts and changes everything. So, yeah, like I said, suddenly all these balls are in motion. It kind of opens and sets off a series of events and internal processes that are occurring here. It's quite fascinating. You know, in the recent past, we have the Fool, and this is, you know, stepping in, feeling light, releasing something, stepping into the new. And I want to say the new you, Gemini, the new you. I feel really light. I feel free. There's been this wonderful energy of newness, being able to step into the new. So, yeah, it's lovely. And that's allowed you to kind of, yeah, it's like this rebuilding of sense of self. And in the near future, you have the Six of Cups, which is more happiness. Like there's so much happiness in this reading, just in the main cross here. So in the near future, this is just really a happiness that you may not have experienced for a while. It's a happiness from the past. It's a time in your life where you felt truly happy, or you felt there's an innocence to this as well. It could have been from childhood. And it's just, you know, when you're a child, the smallest things seem really new and wondrous. And it's like, you know, watching a butterfly fly by. As adults, you know, that can still be wondrous, but we've seen it a lot of times. But for kids, it's like the first time, it's like seeing the world full of wonder for the first time. And so that's kind of the feeling I'm getting here. The world seems like a wondrous place, this lovely stepping into the new. So again, it's this shift of perspective or shift of perspective that's come in, or realization. So it's quite interesting, yeah. The moon, you're presenting as the moon. So this is where it's kind of starts being a little bit different, the energy. This is where it gets confusing, because there's all this lovely cross energy here. There's this lovely energy here in the present and the near future. But then you're presenting as the moon, and I don't understand why. So is there an aspect of you that cannot see all of this or feel all of this, that feels like it's almost trapped in the darkness, or it feels dulled? It's like I feel dull. I feel like I can't feel it. And so for some of you, this is like feeling really, really intuitively connected. And some of you are, like, I know there's a lot of intuitive healers and readers as well that are watching this channel. But I feel like there's just a part of you that can't maybe access that energy that's there for some reason. And it is strangely like, you know, I know it's the twin energy. It's like you're split in two. There's two halves of you. And there's the one half that's really happy, and then there's this other half that is not able to connect to that. And so this is what you're presenting as at the moment. But then they're saying this is all here. So it's kind of, it's fascinating. And I think, you know, the only sign that could really be doing this is you, Gemini. And so I think maybe there's a general suspicion as well of that energy. It's kind of, and then in the energy surrounding you, we have the Three of Swords and the High Priestess. And that's what I was saying. There's a general suspicion of that kind of intuitive energy, or not wanting to trust it. These new messages coming through for you, perhaps. And here we have the Three of Swords and the High Priestess. There's the intuition coming in. She's coming in with all these good things. She's Lady Luck. She brings synchronicity. She brings these incredibly intuitive vibe that's coming through. But then she's sitting right next to the Three of Swords. So there's something that's triggering. There's a pain that's being triggered here, a hurt that's being triggered by her arrival, for whatever reason, by her presence. Trusting your intuition. Have you been hurt by this in the past, or burnt by it in the past, where you thought something felt right and it turned out to not be that? That's kind of the things that are sort of themes that are coming up here for you, Gemini. So yeah, it's interesting because she's not actually bringing this with you. It's just a old past hurt that is actually playing havoc here. But it's not actually turning up down here. It's quite interesting. It's turning up in your environment, but it's not actually inside you at this moment. So I feel like that's why there's the two sides. There's what you might be perceiving in your environment is different to what's actually happening deep down for you. So, yeah, it's kind of fascinating, this reading. For me, it is anyway. So the King of Wands, this is hopes and fears. We have the King of Wands, and this is wanting to feel in control, to be the master of your domain. But it feels like, yeah, split in two, split in two different kind of, two different energies at this moment in time. So you're wanting that to kind of come together and feel like, you're whole and you're all together. But yeah, there's definitely a part, and that's why as the outcome we have the Devil. And I think that's really interesting that he's raised his head up here. He finally lets himself be known and says, look, this is something that's actually been with you for a while, has been keeping you stuck for a while and not allowing you to access or feel some of this feeling, a new sense of self. And that's why a lot of things have suddenly come into motion. And what it is it's brought up some of these fears. And sitting next to the Four of Swords, really what that means is it's time to take some time out to really understand this, to actually understand what story is being told here and to rewrite the story, because there's a shift in mindset. There's that topsy-turvy, something is upside down. A shift in mindset might be needed. In order to see this, because that's what I said, it's upside down. It's like seeing things kind of upside down, quite literally. So, but it's still, everything looks normal and fine, but they're saying you may only be seeing the Devil and the Three of Swords and this confusion and frustration and suspicion of the moon, of trusting the process in the universe. But depending on which way you are, you might actually be seeing this, which is all really positive, a lot of joy and light and happiness and replenishment and self-forgiveness and self-love. So, and there's a commitment to that, to self. So there's two different ways you could look at it. Still the same person, still works, but it's a choice. The choice is yours, Gemini. Which way are you going to look at it? And that's why it's interesting. The bat is upside down as well. A lot of things are like topsy-turvy and upside down, to where perhaps the universe or your soul, different to how your soul sees you. So when the bat is up like this, it means that there is something that needs to be let go of, fear, the opportunity to let go of fear, and it's very connected to the moon energy. And we have the moon energy here, very deeply psychic, intuitive energy. But when it's upside down, it's like unable to release that fear, unable to trust or connect to intuition. There's a real thing about learning trying to trust your intuition here so that you can let this go. And it's a bit of a challenge, shall we say, that's come through here. So, yes, some things are just need to be kind of, like we said, with the topsy-turvy, we need to shift this around, shift the perspective, and then you can tune in and connect to that intuitive energy that's coming through, and then you'll know it's time to let it go. It is time to let something go. And that's a fear, a deep-seated fear. And what it's kind of done is it's almost, it's like I said, it's almost split your personality, not in a way that you're schizophrenic or anything. It's just kind of, there's the fear and there's the happiness, and they can't reside in the same place. within you. It's like there's either one or the other. And at the moment, it's like good versus evil almost. But no, that's just seeing it in a binary way. It's not saying that there's any part of you that is evil at all, Gemini. That's not what I'm trying to say, but it's kind of like those polarities of dark and light kind of thing. And it's like this energy is actually winning. This is the new energy, the more higher vibrational energy, and it's coming through and pushing this energy out, the old paradigm, the connection to the old Capricorn energy, to old fears, old understandings of self, not trusting the higher energy, not trusting your intuition. And that's been asked to be flipped. And it's like this is a whole new version of you coming through here, which is why I'm seeing two yous. And that's why it's kind of fascinating for me that you are the twin energy as well. And so there's a lot that you're balancing here. You're balancing all these different energies like that and undressing of a salad. But I do feel like this energy is going to win out pretty much. So we have as an overall energy, we have the Knight of Swords. And this is very much taking determined action. This can happen quite fast. This energy is coming in very, very quick. There can be some quick changes and lightning fast. And you need to, of all the signs, you're the one sign that can move with this energy, this Knight of Swords, so easily, Gemini. So this is like you in your element, just charging forward, a lot of mental acuity, quick thinking, being able to be very flexible in the way you're thinking as well. So there's a lot of quick changes and coming through that are going to test that old system and bring in the new. And that's what's happening for you at this moment in time. But I can say the new is pretty darn good, and it's a difference between this feels a lot lighter and this feels very heavy. And so, it's just been open to the change. There's some swift, quick changes coming through that, is going to bring some good stuff. But, sometimes when things happen so fast, it can freak people out and they resist it. So, it just depends on how you respond to that. But overall, like looking at it from a higher perspective, this is really good. This is really good. There's this whole new wonderful energy coming through, whole new sense of self. And all it is just clearing out the old system, the old paradigm. So that might mean things come up and you might having to face or look at those fears. But if that's what's happening, and just it's just to understand that on a bigger picture, there's something really, really good happening on a higher vibrational level. You may not be experiencing that in your human life, though. It might feel like the opposite. And that's because a lot of things are being, like I said, looked at, revised, tested, shaken up, to be removed, dismantled. There's a lot of dismantling of an old way of being, an old system here, Gemini. So, it's quite fascinating. What a fascinating reading. So we're going to actually, I'm going to take this over to the deep read now. I'd love it if you come over. We're going to pull out some more clarifiers, some more cards, get some more information, take a look at the future beyond, and get some more messages from the fairies. So I'd love it if you come over. The link is in the description box below, or usually I tag a comment as well. But if this is where we're leaving each other, and hopefully this will make sense, because I feel like I'm living in two separate worlds. And like I say, one's the 5D and one's the 3D. And what's happening on that 5D higher level is so different to what it feels like on the 3D. And so I just hopefully this has given you a higher understanding or perspective of the information that I've been given. And I hope that helped. Anyway, if it does, please like, subscribe and leave a comment or share. Thank you so much, Gemini. I shall see you next time. Bye.